Hello, Star Wars fans. Mando Mitchy back today, and we're going to be talking about building Jabba's palace diorama. So, here is a little bit of an update. Came a long way since my last video, and just want to kind of cover some of the additions and what we got going. I just mounted the lights inside the shelf unit today, and so yeah, we made some progress. Want to talk through a little bit of this and some of the features I like. So I wanted the floor grates in the floor. I wish I could have a Rancor pit in this other shelf, but I got big plans down there. So no Rancor pit down there, but I wanted that for movie accuracy and whatnot. So I 3D printed those grates. It was of a file that I found on Colts 3D, and for a little bit, didn't cost me too much, and it had bigger sections, so if you have however you're going to do it. But so I bought that file, 3D printed that, painted, weathered it, and then I went in with a tool and kind of plunged down into the XPS foam so that it set more flush. I didn't want it just kind of setting on top, looking kind of hokey. Painted it black under there. So yeah, that's a good look. I really like the way that turned out. Again, all pink foam. You can see down here on the other end, it's unfinished. All pink foam. What I did is went in and mixed up some grout, sand, Mod Podge, and then a sand desert type paint, and kind of went over, and it came out with a real nice texture. Went in and weathered that and did a wash and kind of dabbed and went around and got it to where I'm still not completely happy with this. Got a little more to do on that wall, and that actually wall there is a piece of wood. And the reason for that, I'll show you that in just a minute. But yeah, so we've got the kind of the beginnings of Jabba's palace in here, and got my microphones. I 3D printed those for the band. Might need a little bit more on there. We'll talk a little bit more. You can see that fire is almost looks like it's flickering, like somebody put lights in it. Yep, so pretty cool. We'll get into that more a little bit in another video. You'll see a monk, Bomar monk up there in a little loft. I thought, man, there's probably more than one Bomar monk in that palace. And we'll talk a little more about why I think that. There's BGJ38's gaming computer over here. That's something I 3D printed. Talk a little more about that later on. So anyway, so yeah, real happy with the way this has turned out. But this isn't my favorite part. So over here, I wanted the door to Jabba's palace. So this is on the end cap of my shelf unit in my work office, and so went in, made the door out of wood. So what I did was cut the horizontal lines and scored that in, and then went with the vertical strips and painted it kind of an accurate, that rusty dark color. Went in and burnt these, this effect and this, as you'll see on the screen, and they do have that on the door. So kind of went through that, and I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out. And you can see we've got the greeting droid. So I was going to buy the Mos Eisley playset, the diorama playset, just to get that. I really didn't want it for anything else right now, and that was like 50-60 bucks. And I heard some criticisms that it wasn't scaled right, and so I've never seen one in person, but I did find that file very reasonably, and I was able to buy it for 1/18 scale, 1/12 scale, 1/6 scale. Got all these files that I could print, so I 3D printed that, painted it as well as I could. Whenever you're getting something that small, those details are tough. But yeah, I think that looks pretty nice. We've got an R2 and C3PO at the door, Jabba's palace. So yeah, I'm kind of going for that scene, basically that day of the droids showing up. So we're gonna have Ula and that cast in there without Jedi Luke and Slave Leia and all those. So yeah, I'm thrilled with the way this worked out. I glued that ledge on and actually put that's real sand that I'd glued on that as I was developing and doing this. So yeah, I saw some different people that had made Jabba's palace door, and I thought, just on this end cap, end caps are kind of ugly anyway on display shelves. I thought this would be a cool thing, and it kind of set up for these next shelf. I'm going to do indoor, the next shelf down, and the other one's going to be a display. So yeah, I've got to follow this up with something else. So I'm already working on those ideas. But yep. So yep, we've got Jabba's palace. I'm going to do the Mos Eisley Cantina down there. You can see the Geonosis playset. That's going to be the Battle of Geonosis. And then this is going to be indoor on this side. So this is if you didn't see my video on making this is a 7-foot shelf. And if you didn't check this one out, go in. I've got a short and a series on my Hoth build, my Hoth diorama. So really, really cool. You'll want to check that out on my channel. And just kind of spanning around here a little bit, you'll see a little bit. I've got the Mandoverse up here. Really cool shelf, one of my favorite things. Probably going to have to get moved because I got something pretty exciting coming up that I'm going to need to have all this area for. You'll see the big Millennium Falcon, and then one of my favorite things, my dual Kenner Death Star diorama. So if you didn't check that video out, go in, look at my channel content. You'll see the Death Star diorama. Really, really cool stuff. So it's a little bit of figures up through here, some of my favorite stuff. So yeah, this is all my modern stuff other than the Kenner play sets. That's the only thing that vintage that I have in here. So yeah, but anyway, back to this. Let's stay focused. Jabba's Palace. So what's next? So I think what I need to do next is start to do figure placement. I've got Jabba's Palace play set. This piece here I'm going to set up in there. I've got my Legacy Rancor. I'm going to get it set up there. Totes full of figures, unopened figures, all kinds of stuff. So I think next step is to start to do that. I think I'm going to do an entrance door kind of right here, like a backdrop thing. Maybe some entrance doors on that to kind of finish that part off. And then get this thing set up. So I've got some things coming. I know I've got a Tannis Spyjek I was missing, a CZ droids coming, new yak face. There's just a couple of things out of all of Jabba's goons and denizens. Man, there's a lot of them. I've collected most of them, so that's exciting. Now, the thing that's coming up. So I'm going to have a video I'm posting sometime, maybe this weekend, around the time this thing's dropping. So I decided a few months ago that I was unwilling to pay $2,000 to $3,000 for this guy's sail barge. So I thought, man, I wanted one so bad. I wasn't collecting when that HasLab came out. I wasn't collecting yet when the prices were still reasonable, and I can't pay the price. The cheapest one I've ever saw was $1,200, and it had issues, no box, no figure, no nothing. And I just can't bring myself to do it. So I decided to 3D print one and create one of my own. So I found the files on Colts. It's all printed. It's starting to be assembled, and I'm gonna do a build the barge, create the katana video playlist to document as I'm curating and creating this massive yacht that this crime lord would like to sail around the Dune Sea with. So check that out. It's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I hope it turns out good. It's pretty cool so far, but you never know on something that scale. So it's a pretty aggressive goal as I just started 3D printing not long ago. I'll talk more about that in the video, but stay tuned. Hey, if you haven't, subscribe to my channel. That just allows me to continue to communicate as I'm building in my collection, creating dioramas and things. You'll notice I don't do a whole lot with like reviews and that. It's not really my thing. I like to create dioramas. I like to restore broken, beat up things, build things, and that's what a lot of my content's going to be more than new reviews. There's some guys that do a really good job with that. That's not me. So I'll do some review stuff, things that I really like in that, but not so much. So if you like dioramas, you like displays, you like some of this niche stuff, definitely subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate that. And so like and subscribe, stay tuned. I'll be posting more on building Jabba's Palace and also building the barge and creating the katana. So this is Mando Mitchy. God bless you guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Signing out.